In today's video, we're going to talk about all things pressure washing equipment. We're going to talk about the low end, like budget starter series. And then we're going to talk about the high end, what I would do if maybe I started down here just buying stuff myself, upgraded as I went, or if you just want to go all in and just start at the top and you're being efficient, you want to get the most jobs done as possible in a day, you're going to go with the high end equipment. Now I have a list of like the starter equipment that I started with, the exact same stuff I started with and then grew my business 5 years ago. Crazy that I've already been in here half a decade. Here is my PDF pressure washing starter equipment guide. This was only available for people that joined my mastermind group, but that's no longer a thing. I just simply don't have time for it with the baby. And he just now started daycare. So I actually have time to make videos because we was waiting to put him in daycare during the winter. I was like, we'll raise him to be 6 months old. And then we'll put him in daycare that way. Come springtime and January, I can do more work. I can get out more. I have compiled a list of how I started and what exactly I got. Nowadays, man, there is so many builders out there. There's so many builders. It's no secret that I like Southeast Soft Wash. I have always started off buying their chemicals, and then I started buying little stuff like the ball valves and stuff like that. My next purchase from them will probably be a mini skid, I'm thinking. That's probably what I'm going to recommend to you guys, but let's get into it. This is for the low end first. We're going to do that first. So right off the bat, I recommend, as well as many others, do not start below 4 gallons per minute. Now, you can purchase this from Amazon. It's actually going to be a little bit more if you go into some place like Home Depot or your local pressure washing shop. But I recommend the Simpson. This is the exact same one I got, minus the motor. They did change the motor on this one to a CRX 420, but the pump is actually better. That blue pump right there. Let me hit the backspace button. This is the one I start off with. The Power Shot, I believe. No, this is slightly different than mine. Slightly different. They don't sell mine anymore for some reason, that assembly. But it comes on the Honda GX390 with the same AAA pump. The AAA pump sucks, okay? I somehow made mine last a very long time, but now guess what? Time to replace it, and then you got to go about replacing. You want something that can get you through at least a whole season. So you want to go with the pump side and less the engine side, because your next upgrade is more than likely going to be something pre-built and or an 8 gallon a minute. You're not going to be using this 4 gallon a minute, long, in my opinion. Especially the gear drive, you're probably going to upgrade to a belt system next if you go super budget. Next thing, you're going to need some Flex Seal 100-foot hose. You'll probably want to buy 2 of these, so calculate this times 2. It's going to be $68. I actually had to purchase more of this. I actually went up in size. This is 5/8. I recommend going 3/4, but 5/8 will work. It's a little bit cheaper if you're starting out with like a limited budget. For the pressure washing hose, I start out with the exact this is literally the links that I used, and everything will be linked below. The Yamamatic, and I like Yamamatic stuff. It's decent quality. It's cheap, but it's decent to be cheap. 100-foot, you can start with 100-foot. I did. You want to upgrade to 150 to 200 foot of hose for your pressure washer hose. You want to get the stainless steel fittings, because the brass over here, that brass will just get eaten up, especially if you're spraying bleach everywhere. $150. Go ahead and get you some. That'll get you started. BE 20-inch whirl away. I would not start with this. This is actually the 16-inch. So I wish that I had started with the 16-inch, because it takes longer from where it's like 4 inches per gallon per minute that you have. And because I had started with a 4 gallon a minute, and I bought the 20-inch, I had to move a little slower, so it was less efficient if I had just went ahead and got a 16-inch and just banged out some driveways and then upgraded my pressure washer to like an 8 gallon a minute, and then got like a 24-inch, and just upgrade over time. There's something that I want to talk about real quick, and we'll get back to equipment. There's something called the dip. Okay, let me put it on the camera here. There's something called the dip. So when you first start out a business, right, You can start pretty lean. You can use a credit card. You can use a personal loan, and you can delay the payment on everything for a month, whatever. But right here, perfect example. This line, this is known as the dip. This is completely different than what we're talking about. This is talking about price changes during when I used to sell on Amazon way back in the day. But this is what is known as the dip. Your first 2 years, you're probably not going to make a whole lot of profit because you need to focus on getting more efficient. You need to be focused on using every ounce of money that you make going toward growing that thing, that business that you start, the pressure washing business that you start. And because of that, you need to either probably be eating rice and beans if you're making this your leap of faith and just going into this. I would recommend starting on the side of something. That way you can continue to pay your bills and you don't have to take anything from this. If you have like a weekend job or a part-time job or something and you don't have a lot of bills, that would be like the perfect scenario. And you just constantly feed the beast, right? And you upgrade your stuff over time, invest a lot in marketing, going door to door. Once you have upgraded from this that I'm showing you right now on the low end, you can upgrade to that 8-gallon, that skid, that pre-built trailer, and you just keep going. And then by, I would say, year 4 or 5, you're just 3, 4, 5, you're making money, hand over fist. You're starting to maybe look into hiring employees if you want to go that route and don't want to stay on the truck because, one day we're going to die and you want money to keep coming in for your wife and kids. You know what I'm saying? It could be tomorrow. But let's move on. Little side tangent there. A little gold nugget for you. So you're going to need a ball valve of some sort. I currently use Southeast Soft Wash's ball valve, but just get a DN10 stainless steel ball valve. It doesn't need to be. Do not get plated steel. I don't know why I have this one linked. Do not get plated steel because I don't think this is steel. I think underneath it's like nickel, and just the outside is steel, something like that. But you want to get a stainless steel DN10 ball valve. And the DN10 ball valve, do not cheap out and get just the ones you can make at Lowe's. They will not last at all. Next thing is going to be your quick connects. This is going to be just have them on hand. Just get some extra ones, stainless steel. And then this is the hose reels that I made on my skid build. I'll try to link it up here somewhere that you can watch. You want to get the stainless pipe. I bought one with iron, and it's not really a huge difference. You see there, it's like a $60 difference. I should have got both stainless steel, but I was like, well, I'm not going to run no bleach through my pressure washer. Big mistake. Just go ahead, buy the stainless steel. This is Southside Equipment, Inc. I went up there and picked them up. They're in Louisville, Kentucky, right below it. And I went up there and grabbed it. It's like an hour or so away from me, hour and a half, I think, hour 45, something like that. Went up there and picked it up. It was close, local, done deal. $370, $614 total. Next thing, just get you a little cheap. If you're on a budget, get you a little. Your most expensive things are going to be your hose reels and your pressure washer and your surface cleaner. You have to have a surface cleaner. There's no way and if or buts about it. These are a must. The first couple months, I did not use hose reels. And let me tell you something. Now, it's a workout. If you're looking to get in shape, you're going to be sitting there, you're going to be whipping that hose around like, let me go full screen. This is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be twirling that up. You're going to have to be twisting as you do it because that the rest of that hose is going to be, twisting as you're twisting it up in a circle. So you're going to have to yank that hose at 100 foot, 200 foot, doing that. And then you got to go to the next job, and you're like, oh, I'm gassed. My freaking shoulders, my lats, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you have to get hose reels. It is a must. I would much rather do this and just lock it down, be done, put up the tailgate and roll than sit there and That's what I did, literally. Every job. It was terrible. Don't do it. Next, you're going to need just a basic beans. I use this for storage. You hook that up on that little end, that little male. You hook that up on that male there. Don't even worry about the outside. Don't route it to nothing. Just use it to roll the holes up. That's what I used it for. Put it down on the skid. Next, you're going to need some extra Teflon tape to wrap around your fittings. And that's pretty much the pressure washing side. All right, next we're going to move to the soft washing side. 12-volt pump. I believe this is the Everflow 5.5. You're going to need a marine deep cycle battery. Go to your local AutoZone or another local store like that. On-off switch, soft wash wand, J-rod for wand, tall reach tip, 25 degree soft wash hose, tubing, 3/4 inch tubing, barb, pipe sealant. And I'll have all these linked again below the video. So I started out with this. I made this little pump right here. I don't know. I heard that they're not, actually about two of them. I heard that they are not as good as they used to be. Like they got cheaper or something and everybody went to Remco. But they are still just $150 for 5.5 gallon a minute. You can make that in one house wash for $300. That's my minimum personally. Even if your house wash minimum is $200 starting out, I mean, you can make that back right there and make a little profit on that, right? Buying this pump. The 1/2 inch connections, I would start with this again tomorrow. I mean, it's a good pump. It lasted me over, it was like a season and a half. Wash it out every time. You'll be fine. Get you a couple of these connectors so you can connect it right here to this little plug right there. I don't know if you can see it. Connect it to one of these. I think it's that one. And then you can plug it up to your battery. It's that one right there. And it's like plug and play. You don't have to like just sit in the bed of the truck, put the hoses on it. You want to get some of this stuff right here, 1/2 inch. That'll be running out. That's your out feed. Your 3/4 inch will be going in your drum. You'll need some of that. You'll need some of these fittings right here, the barred fittings. This is exactly what I did. Get you some of this thread sealant. Again, everything will be linked below. You want a soft wash wand. I have used the same soft wash wand from Southeast Soft Wash forever. Yes, can you make this going to Lowe's? Yeah, you can. But I'm going to tell you, it's going to cost you about the same amount of money, believe it or not, about $45, $50, $55 plus tax and everything. It's going to cost you about $60. So you might as well get you a good quality product made by somebody and just ship it in for $60 and not have to worry about it, you know. Next, you're gonna want to get a J-rod. I wouldn't recommend this anymore. I don't like that 4-way. I like the 2. 4 is a little heavy. It's a little heavy on that wand, and I don't really like it. I would get the 2-way. I'll have to link a 2. I think Southeast Softwash has one. Here's Southeast Softwash's shooter tip on Amazon, and you want to get this as well. This shooter tip, great. Next is their 12-volt fan tip. This is going to be the 25-degree fan tip. You need this. You're going to be using this for applying to most surfaces, and it's lasted me forever. Keep it unclogged and everything. The chlorine hose, I liked this one, but also the one that's on the rig right now is from Southeast Soft Wash. It's all, I mean, it's a hose. You know what I'm saying? There's not really a difference in my opinion. But here is your poly hoses. You want to make sure they are braided and 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. Again, the barbs and the sealant. Again, all this will be linked below. Don't pay attention to my cart. I'm getting GoPro stuff. Let's go ahead and X off all this. Here is your turbo nozzle. You're going to want one of these. I put this off forever just using tips. And then when I got one, like I bought a couple. Like, you got to have these, right? You got to have them. They're just so good. It makes cleaning concrete and stuff in those nooks and crannies and like next to buildings and stuff so much better. It's so much better. You want that. I get this for my pressure washer. This is just a filter, and it's where you hook up somebody's house. You hook up to your pressure washer. Instead of hooking directly up to your pressure washer and your pump, you hook up to this, and which is always hooked up to your pump, and it filters out that junk coming from the customer's home when you hook up to their water supply. Much needed. You need this, in my opinion. It's only like $13.50. You need it. Just go ahead and get it. Pressure gauge. You're going to want to get this because this is a must-have, because you do not want to be shooting. You're not going to want to be shooting 4,200 psi. I know everybody looks at that PSI number like, I got 4,400 PSI. Like, listen, you do not want to get over like 3,200 PSI. So you need to go ahead when you buy these 4,000 plus PSI pressure washers and turn them down. because you will etch the far out of concrete. And then customers will be mad and they will be pissed. Ask me how I know. Get one of these. Tune your surface cleaner in down to about, I like 3,000, and run with that. Okay? That's all you need. Anything over 2,800 is overkill. I love these gas cans. I hate the new thing with the regulations and all that stupid bullcrap. I get the race jugs. Work great. But wait, there's more. So here is what I used for sealing for a long time. This is the Chapin. It's about $300. I'll have to link the powered one. This is the pump. If I could go back, I would probably just start with it again because everybody recommends it. A lot of people use it for sealing concrete. Now I use a battery-powered backpack sprayer. And yes, it's a backpack sprayer, but it's awesome. I love it. Can't go back. Can't go back. That's like going from roll-up windows to powered windows, you know? Like, once you have them, you can't go back. It's just terrible. The X-Jet, this is almost a must-have. I put it as like a bonus, but this is almost a must-have. It's $162. You need an X-Jet. I use it a ton for rinsing. I learned that from Aaron's Lean Mean Academy back when I took local domination way back in the day. When it first came out. Okay, now we're going to go over and look at some of the higher end things that you're probably going to have to take out a loan for. Now, I want to go ahead and tell you this. I was against debt. I'm kind of a Dave Ramsey fan, and I've grew up with that in my personal finances, 100%, right? Like, personal debt and not being able to pay it off and all that stuff is bad, right? Besides mortgage, whatever. Business side of things, debt makes tons of sense. Like, why would you not? Let me just show you what I'm looking at. This is what I would recommend most people do instead of going through that part list and buying all those parts, having them all over the place, building a little skid out of wood, doing like I did. It gets to be a hassle because once stuff breaks and tears up or you didn't do something right, like, you got to fix that and you don't know, like, right, like, you're a beginner. I would recommend you get something like this, a mini soft wash aluminum skid from Southeast Soft Wash. And the reason why I like Southeast Soft Wash is because every one of them is made the exact same. I see other builders making skids and trailers like custom, and they're all different. And it's like, well, that just goes, that tells me that they have no SOP in place. That means that problems will arise from this trailer they're building right next to this trailer they're building. They're going to have two separate issues. And they'll be like, well, we put this hose up here in this corner, and then we put them on the back of this one, though. You know what I'm saying? Where Southeast and Cody have streamlined their process so much of building equipment that they're the same, which is what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want them the same, because if you do have any trouble and you've read their manual, took their training on the skid or trailer, and you can't figure it out, and you message them, odds are they've come across the issue because they've built thousands of them, and they're all the same. And it's like, well, maybe check this. So you check it, and it's it, and it works. So it's like, oh, okay, nice, thanks. And you go on. So this is what I would recommend you buy. The payment on this is going to be about $250 a month, $300 a month. Now, reason why it's going to be $250 to $300 a month on a personal loan, well, it should be. My mower is going to be about $215 a month. It's $11,500. That's how I'm getting this number. That's why I'm thinking that's how it'll be. So you need to disregard this. The reason is because if you're going to be serious about this business, not only do you have skin in the game now because you have a monthly payment of, $250, $300 a month that you got to hit, which is one house wash. If you can land one house wash a month, you can pay the payment and break even on your equipment. That's why I think business debt is so good, because you can leverage the bank's $12,000, get this, and go out and, like, let's say you knock on doors every day, you do at least 500 homes a day, and you just start crushing it, making $5,000, $10,000 a month. That's probably what it would take, knocking on 500 doors a day or hiring somebody to do that, pay them commission. You could have this thing paid off if you wanted to in 6 months, 8 months time, Or you could just keep paying the payment and you're leveraging the bank's money. That's what the rich talk about, like leveraging money. Leverage. This is what that is. Where you can leverage 12,000 and make 10,000 a month. It's 5,000 a month. 2,000 a month, and you pay 300. That's $1,700. House wash for me is $300 minimum. You land a roof cleaning for $1,500. I mean, you've just how many? Hold up, let's do some quick math. I think that's 5 months, ain't it? So let's say you landed the roof wash for $1,500, just one, and your monthly payment's $300. You paid for your equipment for 5 months worth that gives you to make a load of money just from one job. Okay. And I've had videos of $1,500 roof washes that I didn't think, based on how the house looked and the customer, that they would have any money. So when I quoted, I was like, they're definitely going to say no. And they've said yes. Like, I've had to work on myself with my sales process that way because that kind of jarred me. I was like, what the heck? Leverage money. Now, this is going to be efficient. It's going to be a lot of hand crank again. Now, if this is small for you and you would rather pull a trailer, look into something like this. This is a mini, they call it the mini tank pressure washing and soft wash trailer. And I get no kickback for this. This is not a sponsored video. They are not sponsoring me for this. I'm just telling you my opinion. If I was starting tomorrow, and let's say I have my experience I have right now 5 years in, somehow, like from that remote movie, somebody hit a rewind button and we went back there, but you kept your knowledge. Knowing what I know now, I would 100% take out a loan and get this at the bare minimum. I don't like pulling trailers. That's me personally. And also, when you hire employees, it's much easier to hire something like a skid because you don't have to worry about them hitting stuff with the trailer, nothing like that. That's why I don't like a trailer also, is because when you hire an employee and they have to pull a trailer, it makes everything that much more worrisome and difficult. I would go ahead and get this. It already has a proportioner on it, soft wash set up. You got your tanks already set up, and tanks are freaking expensive, man. Tanks are expensive, and you got the Southeast Soft Wash support stuff. You got all this stuff already set up for you. All you have to do is buy a battery, and you're good to go, right? If you like pulling trailers, I would probably get this smaller one if it was me, but most people go ahead and they get the big bad boy with the window cleaning. Like, it's like the total, like, all around build, and it's their staple build, I'm pretty sure. I would definitely get this if you would prefer a trailer and not have something in the bed of your truck, whatever. That's just me knowing what I know now. If I was starting yesterday, I would 100% take out a loan. This would probably be like $600, $700 a month if you got decent good credit. Let's say it's a little bit more, $800 a month. You've got to at least get 4 house washes. That'll put you at 3, 6, 9, 12. That will put you at $1,200 a month revenue. That would pay for your payment. So you're going to need more jobs as you go up. That's why I recommend that you start with this on the high end, because this payment's going to be like $300 and you can get that in one job easy. And then when you start upselling stuff, I mean, you can turn it into an empire leveraging the bank's money. So this is where I'm going to leave the video. I'm not like a spokesperson. I'm not sponsored by them. I get no kickback for this at all. I have just had really good experience with their equipment compared to others, and I have bought other people on YouTube's equipment. Theirs is the best, in my opinion, from using it. I would recommend going ahead and jumping into this. All right. I'm going to get out of here. Peace out.